Hello and welcome to another edition of Focus. I'm your host, Vernon L. Bolling. Today we're going to talk to Mr. Jack Burns, who's with the Social Security Administration. We're going to talk about, well, first of all, let me say they're celebrating 80 years of service. We're going to talk about a little bit of their privatization. You've been hearing a lot about that because there's a lot of people predicting by the year 2034, Social Security is going to run out of money. And so they're talking about giving it to individuals so they can do their own investing. Think it's a good idea? Well, we'll wait and see. We're going to talk about a lot of things about Social Security. So grab your pencil and paper, and we're going to be just trying to inundate you with lots of information about your upcoming Social Security, or when you can get it, when you can get your cards, or anything along those lines. Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back with more of Focus right after these messages.
When I look into my children's eyes, I'm always thinking of what it is that can make my kids feel safe. If nothing else, I think that's what we can help our kids grow up with, that innocence. The fact is, my kids are going to be exposed to a lot more stuff that I ever was at an earlier age. It's concerning. Learning about the good that the Arizona Lottery is doing, it definitely changed perspective. I become a millionaire, great, but I know that there's something good that's happening out of it.
Here at the Audubon Center, we connect inner-city children with nature.
Before I came to Audubon, I didn't think about the environment.
I see children discovering a universe that wasn't available to them if the center wasn't here.
This place teaches you so much. If there wasn't a place like this, I think a lot of people would be missing out.
We count on the lottery to help us fund our programs for K-12 students. We need more friends like the lottery in the community.
My husband was deployed in October of 2009.
After he left, everything just felt like it sank.
Just didn't really like life at the time.
The hardest thing was just trying to figure out a new routine.
When you're a military family, things like the arts really are extra here at ASU Gannett. The Arizona Lottery enables 200 military dependents to come to the theater 3 times a year. This is our way of saying thank you, and we can never say thank you enough.
Welcome back to Focus. My guest today is Mr. Jack Burns. He's the Arizona Public Affairs Specialist. Welcome back to Focus, Jack.
Thanks, Vernon. Thanks for having me.
You were here once before, so you're an old timer now. So we don't have to treat you with kid gloves. Let me ask a question. What does a Arizona specialist do? Let me ask you that first, because I didn't ask you last time.
Right. Well, the public affairs specialist is a position nationwide. Social Security is a national agency, federal agency. So in my area of Arizona, as a public affairs specialist for Social Security, I would be going to the community, to different organizations, employers. They could even be television programs that provide service to the community or public service to the community. And we explain the benefits and programs of Social Security and the latest services and things that are valuable to people to know that are either preparing to file for benefits or maybe just want to have a better awareness of the Social Security benefit programs.
80 years. You know that, right? You guys must have had a party.
An important year this year, absolutely.
Right, you had a party. No one invited us, but that's okay. Yeah, because that's everything I read is 80 years service to the community, 80 years. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
On Social Security providing service to the community for such a long period of time.
Thank you. Yeah, it's important. It's a milestone this year. 1935 was when Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act into law, and the first program was retirement insurance. So other programs came in after that, but that was the first program back in 1935, and then August 14th of this year was the official 80th anniversary.
I want to go back to that point because I want to talk a little bit about privatization of the Social Security. I know that's a conversation that's being pushed around a lot. So I do want to do that, and we'll probably do that after the break. But let's start real simple. When I received my first Social Security card, or received my number, I should say, at what age now can a person receive a Social Security number or card?
Here in the state of Arizona, most children are, we call enumerated. They're assigned a Social Security number. And that means that right there, when the child is born in the hospital, the parents will fill out an application for a Social Security number and card for the child, and then the parents will get that usually within a month or so. And from that point forward, that child has a Social Security number. If the card is misplaced, then it could be replaced. But the number is assigned very early, right at birth.
So they staple it right to the diaper. No, just
you
joking.
could say it that way.
One of the things in talking about Social Security many years ago, one of the things that I know a person will know they can receive Social Security benefits, and we're going to talk about the different forms of benefits, is credits. You have to receive so many credits to get Social Security. How does that work?
Right, no, that's a great question. Well, a credit is earned every time a worker has taxable wages of $1,220. That's one credit. In 1 year, 4 times that amount, $4,880, would give that same person 4 credits. Credits also could be earned at those same numbers of earnings if they were taxable net earnings from self-employment. Okay. But at that $4,880 mark, that's 4 credits for that year. That's the maximum number of credits someone could earn in that year. So a lot of people ask me, Jack, what about if I earn $40,880? Will I get more than those 4 credits that year? And I'll have to answer no, the maximum is 4 that year. As long as you earn at least $4,880 in taxable wages or net earnings from self-employment, then you've got those 4 credits. And after 10 of those years, if you've earned at least $4,880, you've got 40 credits, and that happens to be the requirement, the minimum requirement for retirement benefits. So after 10 years, most folks, if they've had at least a part-time job where they've earned at least those $4,880, they will have that minimum requirement to receive retirement benefits.
Can credits be carried over? Because that person who says I've earned so many, can I apply? So can I carry some? Can they be carried over? If I earn more than I need the first year, can I carry the balance of them to the second year?
Oh, see, that's kind of the question I usually address. Is people say, can I earn more than 4 credits in a year?
Made me think
and
of
the
that.
answer is there's a maximum of 4 credits per year. So if you've earned 4 in that year and you're beyond the $4,880, that's as high as you can go that year. They can't go over to the next year, unfortunately.
So you can't take it over. Okay,
No.
That's what I was thinking. How do I keep track of my credits or my earnings as I work? Can I keep track of it?
That's a great question. I wish we could get the message out to more younger workers. Younger workers, if they're under 24 years of age, could actually be eligible for benefits if they became disabled, or if something happened to them, their family members could get survivor's benefits with as little as a year and a half of work, and that's important for folks to know. So to keep track of those earnings, how much they're paying into Social Security and Medicare and what their benefit estimates are, what we recommend is they establish a free online account. It's called My Social Security.
Okay.
And if they go to our website, which is easy to find, socialsecurity.gov, G-O-V, it's right on that homepage. You can't miss it. It's the My Social Security account, and they go in and establish that account, and they're going to be able to look at their earnings record, is what Social Security calls it, and that's all the years a worker has worked, paid taxes on their wages or net earnings from self-employment, and paid into Social Security and Medicare. And they'll have that complete history. They can verify it's correct, which is a good thing to do. As you say, track that information, because tracking means you're verifying it's correct. If it's not correct, it gives you the chance to go to Social Security and say, hey, I need to make a correction here. Something didn't get reported. And that way you know your benefits are accurate, because benefits are based on what you paid in.
Back in the 60s and 70s, when my mom used to collect Social Security from my dad, they sent her a check.
Right.
I understand now it's kind of, I don't want to say frowned upon, but right now it's direct deposit. Am I correct?
The majority of benefits are paid direct deposit. There are certain circumstances where if someone has a reason to receive a need to receive a paper payment check, they can still do that. But the requirement is that folks have direct deposit for their benefits. Yes.
Okay. How about if I want to change a direct deposit, or I'd like to change an address for Social Security? How is that done?
That's a great question, because I just talked about the free online My Social Security account.
Okay.
Having that account allows you to change your mailing address, your email address if you use email, your phone number, your direct deposit information. You can get a verification of your Social Security income if someone wants verification of that, a lender or some organization wants to see how much you get from Social Security. You have that right on your account. You can even replace your Medicare card, get a 1099 if you've misplaced that to file for income taxes. And so the online account is there. It has to be established so that you have access to these services. Social Security's plan for the future is to add and build in more and more services on this account. But as we talked about before the camera went on, Social Security is still committed to having telephone service.
Excellent.
24 hours a day.
Excellent.
12 of those hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. will be a representative available to speak to you. If you're outside of that 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., there still will be automated services available to cover the rest of those hours. But that service is still there, and representatives are still, Social Security is committed to having the representatives available in the offices. We have walk-in hours every weekday.
I commend Social Security for that. When is the best time, if there is one, that I can reach you by telephone?
Reach me personally? Well,
not you personally. The best time is to look at you on TV,
right?
But so, I mean, if I want to ask a question or whatever, talk to somebody. Right.
Yeah, and I know there are peak call times and things like that, and I don't have statistics with me today to give you all the specifics. But generally, if it's a day following a federal holiday and it's a weekday where we have business hours, then that would be probably a peak time, because folks that weren't able to reach us on the holiday are now calling in. Mondays tend to be after the weekend, heavier call traffic hours as well.
Right.
But beyond that, again, the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. time is available any weekday that's not a federal holiday.
Well, Monday and Fridays are bad days. Take it from one who's tried. So I can just tell everybody that, during the day, just call them. Don't get discouraged. Just put your phone down and just wait. We have to have a little patience to wait. Before we take a break, Jack, can I receive my Social Security check outside of the United States? If I move, I'm getting a check here and I move. Any problems?
Social Security has countries that are restricted from receiving those benefits for you if you're living in those countries. An example would be Afghanistan, those types of countries that are on a list specifically, but in most of the remainder of the countries you would be able to receive your benefits there. And there's more information on our website. Receiving benefits while living outside the country is the actual title. You could pull up an electronic publication there that you could actually go through and read specifics on that information. But the general answer is, unless it's one of those restricted countries, yes, you would be able to.
Well, if you're in some of those restricted countries, you probably won't need it for a period of time after a little bit of time of being there. I'm talking with Jack Burns. We're talking about Social Security. I'm throwing him up there. He's knocking him out of the park. Don't touch that remote. We're going to be right back with the second half of Focus and talking with Jack right after these messages.
When I look into my children's eyes, I'm always thinking of what it is that can make my kids feel safe. If nothing else, I think that's what we can help our kids grow up with, that innocence. The fact is, my kids are going to be exposed to a lot more stuff that I ever was at an earlier age. It's concerning. Learning about the good that the Arizona Lottery is doing, it definitely changed perspective. I become a millionaire, great, but I know that there's something good that's happening out of it.
Here at the Audubon Center, we connect inner-city children with nature.
Before I came to Audubon, I didn't think about the environment.
I see children discovering a universe that wasn't available to them if the center wasn't here.
This place teaches you so much. If there wasn't a place like this, I think a lot of people would be missing out.
We count on the lottery to help us fund our programs for K-12 students. We need more friends like the lottery in the community.
Welcome back to Focus. I'm Vernon L. Bolling. We're talking with Jack Burns, who's with the Social Security Department. He's a public affairs specialist, and it's a pleasure. I'll tell you, we answered a lot of those questions that first half of the show, Jack. So we're going to see if you can knock these out of the park as well.
I'll do my best.
Oh, I don't have a problem with it. Let me ask a question. What happens if I work and get Social Security retirement benefits?
Okay. Yeah, there's a way that you can do that without affecting your benefits at all, and that's once you're full retirement age. Social Security calls full retirement age the age where you would, if you had waited that long to file for your benefits, you would have gotten 100% of your retirement benefits. But it's also the age where now any limit to how much you can earn from work has been lifted, and you can have unlimited work earnings and still get 100% of your Social Security benefits with no reductions. And that is right now for folks that are born between 1943 and 1954, that's age 66. So you can be assured that at age 66, if you're earning whatever it is from work, that's not affecting your benefits. Prior to that age, that same year you turn 66, you could earn as much as $41,880 and have no effect on your benefits whatsoever. It's when you go above that a certain amount of your benefits can be withheld. Before that year, you turn the magical, some people, when I do seminars for retirement, they'll say, Jack, what's that magical age I have to be? Well, before you get to the year you turn that magical full retirement age of 66, you actually can earn as much as $15,720 without affecting the payment of your benefits at all. And some people filing before they reach that year they're turning the full retirement age will be filing early for retirement, and they'll be subject to that limit, $15,720. But if they're filing early in the year, they may be able to be working and earning more than that and still receive some of the months of the year. So they would want to check with us to see whether or not they could still file for benefits even though they're earning more than that limit. A couple of different things can happen. One thing that can happen is if they're filing some months into the year and they've already gone over that amount, but they're deciding to stop their work, or they're going to lower their work to a level where they're only going to earn a little bit each month, they could still get the remaining months of the year from their Social Security benefits. The other way that they could be paid is if they are filing early in the year, they've gone over that limit, but they're not that far over the limit, and only half of what the person went over that limit needs to be recovered from their benefits. So after that's been recovered from their benefits, they still could get some months out of the year. So the thing to keep in mind is, if you have a question, contact us and we can tell you exactly how that will work. But all bets are not off if you're over these limits. But certainly at the magical age of 66, at that point forward, there's no more limit to how much you can earn from work and receive your benefits.
Okay, give me the age of early retirement, regular retirement.
Some people just call it retirement, right?
Retirement, and then maximum. I think there's three, isn't there three?
You could limit it or narrow it down to those three milestones.
Okay.
The first early milestone is the earliest possible age you could get retirement benefits from Social Security, and that's age 62.
62.
You do have to be 62 every day of the month for that first earliest month, and some people don't plan for that, so that's important to remember.
So not to cut you off,
no,
because you made that statement. So what you're saying to me is I have to be 62 every day of that month. So I would have had to have been born the first
or the second
to
get benefits for the month you turn 62.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I want to make sure I understood that.
Right. Everyone else that's born on the 3rd or later can't get benefits any earlier than the month after they turn 62. Okay. And that's the way it works. Once you're 62 every day of the month, from that point forward, this doesn't apply. It's just for that earliest possible month.
62.
Right.
Okay. What's the next stage?
The next milestone, and you can select any month after you've been 62 every day of the month.
Okay.
It's your choice when you want your benefits to start. They'll be reduced If you take them before your what we call full retirement age, you called it the regular retirement age. Some people just say the retirement age for Social Security. However you want to look at, or however you want to call that age, it's the age where you'll get 100% of your benefits. And as I said before, for people born between 1943 and 1954, that age right now is 66. So if you're born between 43 and 54 at 66, if you had waited that long to receive your retirement benefits, you'll get 100%. And then as you wait even longer, you'll get 8% more per year by waiting and not receiving that retirement benefit all the way up to the age of 70. So if your full retirement age is 66 right now, each year you could get 8% more. If you waited and didn't receive benefits all the way to the age of 70, you could get as much as 32% more each month from your retirement benefit if you're deciding to delay it. They call those delayed retirement credits.
A person wants to receive at 62. They for whatever reason, because a lot of people have to. But at 63, they don't need the money anymore. Can they stop receiving Social Security?
A couple of things can happen. If someone is planning to return to work and their earnings are going to be high enough to the point where they're not eligible for payment of their retirement benefits, as we talked about, there's a limit to how much can be earned and still receive all the benefits. Okay. So if they choose to return to work and their earnings are high enough where their Social Security benefits can't be paid, then they can request suspension of their benefits because they're returning to work and their earnings are too high. If someone within 12 months, and this gets a little more technical, and it doesn't always come down to 12 exact months, but from the month they first were entitled to a benefit up until 11 months after that, if they decided, geez, you know, I really want to wait until a later age to file for benefits, I could withdraw this application, pay all the money back to Social Security.
Oh, you got to pay it back.
Right. But it has to be within 12 months of the first month that benefit started. So I recommend that if folks make that decision, that they make it quickly within a few months and not wait until 11 months, because it's not always clear to the person that filed when that count starts, when the clock starts ticking for the 12-month period. So all bets are not off if they file for benefits and decide within, let's say, 11 months, right, that they don't want to have their first month of benefit be when they filed. They want to start over again, which is what it would be. They would start all over again at a later date. They would request a withdrawal of the application and repay the money that they were paid, and then they could do it again at a later date as if it never happened. And that's called, they refer to that many times as the do-over.
The do-over. So you have a name for it. So there are people who do that.
It happens occasionally if someone changes their mind, right?
Okay, okay. And I don't want to think, I don't want anyone to think that, well, boy, I'm trying to make it to 6, that they if they collect their benefits at 62 because they have to. There's a lot of people who have to.
Right, absolutely.
For whatever the financial reasons, family reasons, whatever it has to be. I mean, you have to do what you have to do.
Right, and that's understandable. I've worked over the years with enough people that are filing because it's the time where they need the income and they don't have many other options, so they start that income. The important thing to remember is if you do have the ability or your circumstances allow you to delay your retirement, it is usually a good decision because your benefit is going up as you delay it and wait longer. The reduced benefit that you take if you're filing early does stay reduced over time, and you're not going to go up to a higher rate later because you've gotten that reduction now as part of the computation of your benefit. So it's important for people to understand that.
I don't think I asked you this question, but how do you apply for Social Security?
Well, we recommend these days, because there are so many people that do get on our website and they're already looking at information. I'm referring to our website today, and it's likely that a lot of folks will be able to go directly to socialsecurity.gov, and once they're on that home page, that main page, they'll see the link right there, File for Retirement. You can't miss it. It's one of the biggest links without even navigating to further scrolling down or anything. They'll see it right there. So that's the recommended way to file for your benefits. The average time for for an online application is about 15 minutes, so it's designed to get the person quickly through the application, only ask the questions that are needed for their personal application. If they answer questions in a certain way, we'll eliminate questions that aren't needed for the application, so it gets them through quickly. It's also there, they can start the application and then save it and come back to it at a later time, and it can be done anywhere on the internet, anywhere they have access to the internet. So that's a recommended way to file for the retirement benefits. If they prefer to do the application either in person, face-to-face in one of our offices with a representative, or they prefer to do it over the telephone with a representative, those options are still available, and we welcome them to make an appointment so that we have the time set aside. We do have, as I mentioned earlier, we do have walk-in hours every day of the week. That's not a federal holiday in our offices, so we do have to set that time aside to speak to the person to file their benefit. We want them to have an appointment, and dialing 800-772-1213, that's our national service number. They'll be able to call that number, make the appointment, and then the representative will have that time set aside for them to help them with their application.
And why don't you give us the website again?
Sure. Social Security, all one word together, .gov is the main website. Right on the home page, you can't miss it. File for retirement is right there, ready to go. And then the national number to make an appointment, if you prefer not to do it online, is 800-772-1213.
Jack, thank you for joining us again, and we'll have you back.
Thank you, Vernon.
Back. And we want to thank you for joining us. Up on the screen, Tony has put the telephone number. For those two people out there who wanted me to put the address up there, I'm not allowed to say the address is going to be on the screen anymore because that's old school. So you got a phone number up there. I don't know if the website's up there. The website is up there. So he's dragging me slowly into the 21st century here. So, but that's up there. Once again, we want to thank you for joining us. We'll be back same day, same time when Focus continues.